So my name is James Kellard. I'm from Tampa, Florida, and I am in commercial real estate insurance. As 2022 came to an end, I did some reflecting back on my 20s and kind of where I was in my life, and just understood that there was some things that I wanted to kind of grow and parts of me that I wanted to shed away. And of course, you and I were introduced to each other. I've known you for quite a while, and I've seen the work that you've been doing. And I knew that I was going to have several different pillars in order to kind of support me through that growth phase that I wanted to go through this year. But I wanted to take a little bit of a step further, and that's where you came into the mix, dude. The biggest thing that I've seen from you, man, is your passion and the way that you show up with authenticity. I think that although there may be a lot of coaches out there, I think that I was able to see a perspective from you where you're really invested in the people that you work with. And then the other thing that was important to me too is I wanted to have a coach that had a relationship with God. You know, that was extremely important because that's a relationship that's most important to me. So when I'm looking to go to a mentor or somebody to help me grow, I want to make sure that that's where their kind of North Star and foundation is as well. And you had a strong foundation on it. I try to sum things up in one word if I can. And the word that I thought of for this coaching container that we went through was just magical. And that's when people talk to me about what the experience was like, that's the word that comes out of my mouth. And the reason for it is we talk about all of these different things in the coaching sessions, like purpose, vision, values, clarity, energy, list goes on, right? But in each session, it just really builds upon the previous session. And when I came out of it, I was I felt like a completely transformed person. And it's crazy to say that can be done in 3-4 months, but it just happened. And I can't tell you how many people in my life have come to me today and explain the difference that they can notice in me and how I show up in certain circumstances, how I handle certain situations that I'm going through in my life. And I have more people coming to me now for advice than I ever have in my entire life. And it's because of the growth that I've been able to go through from this container. I mentioned before we kicked this call off that I was going through a job transition, and I have been in the same position that I've been in sales in commercial insurance for the last 4 years. And I was really tied to that. And I think as we continue to go through our sessions and I got more clear on what my purpose was and what my vision was for the future and what I wanted for myself and my family, my friends, the people that I love, I was able to take a step back and realize that what I'm doing now probably isn't going to be the best move for me 5-10 years when I think about where James is going to be when he's 40. And I don't think that without these sessions and going through those conversations that we did, I would have ever gotten to a point where I was able to let go of everything that I've built for the last 4 years. I think I would have continued to hold on to that and wanted to build in that because of the idea I had 4 years ago. And that was huge. And the other big piece to that was being able to trust God that He has my best interest at heart. And we talked a lot about that too, our faith and just having faith in, the direction that we move forward in life. So that was huge. I had a lot of fear about stepping out of the role that I was in because I was making good money. I saw the guys around me, they're all making really great money. And I think that was for me a huge motivator, somebody who had kids young, and I've really scrambled to get through college. I worked multiple jobs, and I finally got into a position where I was getting paid very well, and the potential to make very, very good money was there. And then, I think when I started to even consider moving into something different, there was a huge fear around leaving that paycheck that was kind of guaranteed. And what I had to understand and realize is that wasn't going to fulfill me long term. And I think my life became more about happiness and fulfillment and where I was going to be driven to wake up and be happy every day versus every 2 weeks getting paid a nice paycheck and the potential to make really great money. So my whole vision and clarity on what my life and what I wanted for myself changed. And that's where the courage came in. I had the courage to be able to step back and start thinking from a broader lens on what I really wanted for my life. And if it weren't for this coaching container that we went through, I wouldn't have been able to take that step back because fear was leading the way. It's been paramount, man. Just the way that I'm able to communicate, the way that I'm able to see others and show up for them for the things that they're going through. I mean, the kids specifically, they go through so many different things and so many experiences in life every single day, and they're looking to me to guide them and give them perspective and, you know, advice and kind of be their foundation. The biggest thing I can say is when I was able to transform and lead with a better perspective and better heart, they're getting the direct benefit of that, right? So I listen to them better now. I'm able to really hear them more. I'm able to give them better answers around the different experiences that they're going through and really just support them better as a whole. And I've noticed in my parenting too, I'm a much calmer and patient parent. I'm a much more tender parent. Still, I can rule with an iron fist, but it's all about teaching with that silk glove. And I think that as we move through the sessions and again, the transformation happened, they were able to see it full circle too. And they're getting a lot of benefit from it in their life in many different ways. One of the things that I'll kind of recap and touch on that too is the relationship I have with my ex-wife has gotten so much better because the way that I've been able to accept her and communicate with her and show up for her has been game changing. So now the boys are experiencing, you know, a loving father who's also seeing that he's invested in caring for their mother in a different way. Although that we're not together, for them that's extremely important for them to see that we have that healthy communication and relationship. Just the future, man. I think that, you know, when we started these sessions to be very vulnerable, I was in a very broken spot. You know, you knew some of the experiences that I was going through in my life, and I'd gone through a really tough breakup last year, at the end of last year, and I really didn't have any idea on what direction I wanted to go, and I felt lost in my career and my job. I wasn't really getting fulfillment from that. I felt like, you know, I wasn't showing up the best I could for myself, my boys, my friends, my family. And I just wanted to make sure that I was able to grow and show up in all those areas differently, and I have been. And, you know, we fast forward now, and, you know, I think that I'm finding myself in a much, you know, where I've accepted a much better job, where I'm going to be surrounded by a really good team. I think my relationship with my parents has gotten better. The relationship with the kids is solid. I've gotten myself into a new romantic relationship in the last few months that I've been showing up well in. So it's like everything's kind of falling into place now, and it's really great to see because I went through this journey to get here, and now God is blessing me with all of these different things that I wanted the whole year, and now it's about taking all of the experience and transformation and plugging it in to secure everything that I have now. And it's just a beautiful spot to be in. Do it. Just do it. I remember when connected, it's obviously something I wanted to do. I think the biggest hesitation that people have when they're looking to take on a coach is the financial aspect, right? Because it can be expensive, you know? But I always tell people, if you're in a place where you're going to hesitate to cut that check every 2 weeks or monthly or whatever it is for you, you just have to do it, because you're gonna see this as something that's going to be a new expense in your life. But because you haven't just jumped in, you don't understand the value that you're going to get at the end of it, and it's worth every single penny of expense, in my opinion, from what I experienced, right? So it's like anything in life, you got to jump in the pool and find a way to swim, and regardless of what financial position that you're in, make it work, because the impact that it's going to have on your life is going to be such a great return on investment that you're going to look back and say, I would spend that money 10 times over, without a doubt.
James, it's been such a pleasure working with you. It's been an absolute honor to see you grow and to see you when we first started, to see where you're at today, between your work, between the kids, between your relationship with yourself and others. I'm looking forward to just continuing to build the relationship. Any parting words for anybody still listening?
I told you this in our sessions, and I'm just extremely grateful to have met you, man, and been able to work with you. And I think we're going to continue the work that we do ahead. And, you know, for anybody who's listening to this, you know, if you're in a place where you're struggling, or you want to work on growing certain areas of your life and finding your passion and purpose in life, then pick up the phone, call Sebastian, send him a message. If you're not doing that, then you're missing out.
Thank you, James. Appreciate you for taking the time. All the best. I'll see you soon.